Upper back pain is very common. It's usually related to difficulty with the rib junction. The head of the rib keys into the side of the spine. It actually straddles a disc, and it's actually quite easy for you to strain that joint, even something as simple as coughing, but heavy lifting, scrubbing, all sorts of things. It can give you a nasty pain that's related to your breath. In fact, it can be breathtaking. It can actually stop you getting a deep breath. Often the pain goes round, follows the line of the rib, what we call girdle distribution, but it can also come straight through to the front of the ribs. Now, it's very easy for you to do exercises to relieve this, and this little session is for acute upper back pain, and I'm going to show you with Joe how to do that. The first one to do is really relatively simple, which is simply bending forward. People think they shouldn't bend. What I like you to do is to walk down your legs. Always have your knees bent, because otherwise it's a hamstring stretch. Then I want you to just dangle at the bottom and let your spine pull out. And just enjoy it. You can undulate a little bit left and right, and you can actually feel sometimes restrictions in the ribs. The muscles between the ribs, called the intercostals, often go into what we call spasm. So now you'll unfurl and come up, Joe. From the bottom up, head coming up last, and just go down again, because you often feel second time round that you get further down. It's easier for the muscles to let go. Joe's actually quite tight there, and just feel that all the way through, and you can actually sort of wiggly waggly dangle left to right a bit, and that can actually help those muscles let go. And then coming up again, and that's the simplest exercise you can do. The second one is a bit more complicated, and it's deliberately designed to stretch those muscles between the ribs that I just mentioned, the intercostals. So your hands are down here like this. Again, feet together, but feet apart, but hands quite close together. Try and get a nice right angle at the hips there, and then just sort of side bend at the hips, trying to make a crescent on this side. That's lovely. So he's going one way, then the other. Now that's stretching here, opening the ribs, stretching the intercostal muscles. The other way. And if your hands are close together, you get a nicer crescent right through the whole arm. And that stretches the muscles, and that stops them grabbing, which is so uncomfortable when you make a move, when you've got this upper back pain problem with a rib head. And you can do this as often as you like through the day. It's a good idea to do it once you've had a spasm or a grab. Good, and this is for an acute regime. Now the final exercise for an acute regime is to lie on your back on the floor. And what you do is, excuse the dog here, what you do here is you bring your feet close to your bottom as you can get, because it's easier to lift your bottom when the feet are close. You also then use your glute muscles rather than your hamstring muscles. So you can either do it like this, hugging the chest, which pulls your shoulder blades out of the way, or you can do it with your arms over your head like this. I tend to think that when you're going centrally up the spine, you have the arms over the head, so let's do that first. And what I say classically is lift your bottom and peel off the floor, right up through the spine. Now you often feel when you go over the stiff links that it's more painful. You often feel there's a little flat patch that you jump over. So you try and really press into the floor as you come down, each cog accountable as you come down. Always hard to get the back of the waist into the floor. Up we go again, centrally. Sorry about the dog, once again, doesn't like to be left out. And then we'll go down again, and then we'll do the hugging one, so you don't tip off balance. So hugging your chest here gets your shoulder blades out of the way. And now he's going to peel off the floor again, but go up through what I call the side ladder of the ribs. Up, and you often feel a sore one there, and it's prominent. It sticks out like a cable around a barrel, and you'll go up and down, and you'll find that prominent rib, and you'll worry it. Going up and down, it should be a sweet pain. Don't be frightened of that pain. Go stay on that rib, good. Now, Joe doesn't have anything wrong with his ribs, so he's not being called to stay there, and then we'll go down. Then we'll tip over onto the other side. That thrusts the rib into the floor more. Up you come. and then just pretend a little bit on the way down that that's a painful prominent rib, and you'll stay and worry it absolutely like that. You're looking for the pain. Now you'll do that every night. And those are the simple exercises for acute upper back pain. There we go.